tilt. Can you tilt or no? Is it this or no? No? There's no one because.
Yeah, it went from one to nothing.
No, but I want to know, like, like, how do I, like, if it's like a little lower, but just, let's see, a little down or whatever.
The battery's already done.
Do you know what this is for? I think that was it. No, I don't know which way to go. I think it moved up, no? I think it's too much. Like, I basically want like that. How do I do that?
David, is that a knife?
I'm trying to see like I can. Did it remove this one yet? Or just get up over that more. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, don't let me just put it
Ahorita, let me just put it here.
Because I was like, I should have been able to see you. You could actually count the people. 900. About 900.
Was that including staff?
No, I didn't go. Just people.
Yeah, it seemed like it was maybe 350.
Yeah, no, it was about 900.
They were like,
Because I was counting rows back.
yeah.
Yeah, it was about 900.
Well, I like to put everybody in the sections that the cameras are facing.
That was
the one Steve
midway.
Kim posted?
No, this is actually
You
the main
posted
event,
it?
at the main event, so. No, I didn't post it, no.
Or did you take it?
Yeah. All these sections are. No, like basically like maybe
That's all right. Lot. But you know what? It's real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, I go on there. It might be, but yeah.
What was he buying?
No, that's what he was buying.
Call your hobbies, it's not too late.
Take a beer. Buy a ticket, get a beer.
siempre sticks it down. I did it in clips. I always make sure I hit stop.
Yeah, you want to create a big old fire.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I want one of these lights that he has. They make Christina looked like so serious. Like in the pictures that I took, you know,
Oh, yeah?
with the light, because
Yeah.
he had the light towards
Oh,
her.
okay,
So
okay,
with
okay.
my flash, it's going to the side, like
Yeah.
the skin just looked like glowing. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap, man.
I know he has a bunch of them, but he doesn't let me borrow anything.
Fucking Braekhus.
Oh.
Take care of
So you guys do have a day.
He has a bunch of lights. Like I can never see him with those. Like a whole shelf. Where's my light?
Who moved?
I know, yeah.
Cleaning.
Shit's just scattered here, but I know where it's at.
Yeah. I can find them. If I can find them, you know. Hey.
I go with my eyes closed in the dark. I just reach down and grab what I need to grab.
There you go.
If she cleans, I'll check what's on. It's losing my shit.
As you go to a camera, is that
Yeah, she is right. I like it. The autofocus isn't good, but I don't really use autofocus. But it's really, and for what it does and the price point that it's at, for filming, it's really good. And you know the documentary, but like for what you're doing, that's really good because the autofocus is super. Those and the Sony's have the eye tracking, so like when she's interviewing, it'll lock onto her eye, and that's where you want to focus.
Yeah.
And it does it all automatically. So it's like, yeah. But that's like, they're like the same. The Canon has a better color. I'm like a nerd when it comes to all that shit.
I just got this one. This is literally like, we had 3 days. Yeah, we did like 2 events.
the second day.
Yeah,
This is the second
day.
day.
Yeah, 3 events. We had 2 events today and then
Good camera. Good camera. Did you read up on them before you bought it?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of wanted this one from the get-go, but you know.
And you can turn around and take really good photos with that camera.
Yeah.
That's a photo.
Dude, Rigo's like freaking the best photographer for kids. He does like the best job. I don't know if it's you or him. I don't know who's taking the picture.
If it's just Fino, it's pretty much him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute. I'm like, oh my god, he puts it all. Well, you direct him, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You
I'm the
picked the outfit.
stylist.
Yeah, you're the stylist. And he's the photographer.
Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. It's like always, he looks like a little man. You know, he puts him like little man clothes.
We got him a Santa suit. It just came in yesterday, so he hasn't taken any pictures yet. But I had him try it on yesterday. Because last year, because we did it 2 years in a row when he was a baby. So he was 5 months, the first Christmas, and then next year he was a year and a half. But last year he didn't want anything to do with like Santa, like not even with it. Like I think he was kind
We
of
struggled.
scared.
Yeah. We went to Big Bear. We dressed him up.
Yeah, he didn't want. We didn't really get like that good shot.
Yeah.
This year I was he's a little more
into it now.
like interested.
Was he
Photos?
scared?
Christmas photos?
I think I mean
San Pedro, man.
not crying scared, but he didn't. I don't know. Just didn't move it too.
My kids would scream and cry with Santa.
You know what? Yeah.
Oh, remember?
The movie.
Like that.
I think most kids do. Yeah.
No, we took him once.
Because
just
he
once,
dresses
yeah.
up like Santa.
Oh, he dresses
Yeah,
So,
I'm-
so, it's, so yeah. No, so he dressed up like Santa, and then
No, yeah,
both of them
both of them.
did. Him, so it's like Santa holding like Santa baby.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be like going upstairs.
Yeah. Right back in the States. Yeah, it's just stop there.
We're going to start the press conference here shortly, if everyone wants to take their seats. So Lou, if you want to sit down, and Elvis.
So,
They keep coming.
A little bit of hardware right there, Lulu. That's what she's been working so hard for. She had a tough fight with Brenda Flores. Very controversial decision. The WBC ordered the rematch. Brenda Flores was ill, so they sanctioned this fight here. We have to give Lorraine Villalobos a lot of credit for rising the occasion, but Lulu finally got her world championship. And then Brenda Flores fight will happen in the beginning of next year, as soon as she recovers. I think after the holidays and skiing. So Lulu, if you want to say a few words.
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, how you going?
what's up?
Woohoo! Thanks everyone for being here and coming to this show and the media support. It's been amazing. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate this and the opportunities that you give me. And I thank you, Elvis. After the last fight in September, we were meant to be going home, taking this back to my kids. And like Tom said, there was a lot of controversy over it, so the WBC reordered the rematch. And, 10 days out from the fight, we hear that Brenda is sick on holidays in Big Bear, so when she's ready to get back in the ring, we'll be ready. And, we've been working really hard. Elvis has made sure that he didn't want me going back to my kids without bringing this piece home. So I want to wish my baby girl Estelle a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. So this is the greatest gift, and for my son Elijah. So we did it as a team. My team, I love you guys. We've been working really hard this year, and this year's been a challenging year for me, making my trip over here to the States to start my career over here and being away from my children. Riding through the ups and downs that we've had this year, and finally we're here and we're the champions, and I'm grateful that tonight we got the early stoppage and I put on an exciting show for you guys as always, and I endeavour to do that all the time and hopefully bring more people to come and check it out, because you know what? It's Bang Bang Lulu time, guys! Yeah, I love being here.
Any questions? We'll open it up for questions from the media. Lulu, how does it feel to get that WBC?
Tom, I'm pretty sure you saw the emotion in my eyes when we were up there.
I'm surprised you had the strap on your body.
I'll tell you that, baby. I've been working hard since I began boxing. Before I even really knew what I was doing, I saw a picture of the WBC belt and said, you know what, I can get you one of those. I want one of those. I didn't know what it would take to get here. I've had 11 fights. I'm a two-time world champion now. So I've been working, as you know, it takes a lot of hard work to get to this position. And in 5 years, I've accomplished that from the moment I walked into a gym to sitting here right now on this big stage. So it takes hard work, dedication, a lot of passion, and of course a great team.
Lulu, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a really exciting fight.
Woo!
I loved it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about women fighting for 3 minutes?
You know what? It doesn't faze me. I don't really have it's great, it's not great. I'm in here to do what I need to do. Whatever it is, we do it. So, if it's 3 minutes, 3 minutes. If it's 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes. But what's more important, I think, is that women are now getting their time, and we get our time in the ring. And you're all here to push it forward and get behind us, and that's the main thing for me. So I don't really it doesn't bother me. Yeah.
Was Brenda actually sick, or did she flake out?
Well, she said she was sick, but then she was like laughing and having fun in Big Bear on holiday. So I don't know. Like people were flicking me, and I was like.
I think they sent in the medical documentation to the WBC, so the WBC sanctioned this fight since she wasn't available, but Lulu will fight Brenda Flores then in the beginning of next year in her first fight.
I know everybody wants to see that fight.
That was a great fight. That fight stole the show at Superfly 3. So everyone wants to see that rematch. So we're excited as soon as we can put that on, as soon as Brenda Flores is ready to go, and Lulu can take some time off of the holidays, bring the Christmas present back to her home country of Australia, and we'll try to put that on as soon as possible.
Tom, I would just like to say that yes, a lot of people forget that Lulu in her 6th fight became a world champion. She won the WBO world title in Japan in a big upset. With only 6 fights against a girl that had twice as many fights in her home country. And it's really hard becoming a world champion when you only have 6 fights and 2 amateur fights. So she's really a work in progress, but we are definitely progressing. And with Tom's help and his guidance, Tom's the best promoter in boxing, and he's done an amazing job. A guy that hasn't been given these easy people to promote. He's had to promote, kind of from the bottom up, and he's done a great job. And Lulu is one of his latest creations, and I think he's doing a great job. But yes, this winning the 2nd world title is big, and I think that she has some amazing things coming up. I mean, she won the title at 108, dropped back down to 102, and who knows? I think 105 is definitely in the future. So we want to be a 3-time world champion, and we'll see where all of that goes. But this was an amazing night for women's boxing, and I'm proud of what we accomplished tonight.
It was definitely a huge statement with Lulu, Claressa Shields, and Cecilia Braekhus. So if nobody has any questions, we want to just acknowledge Lulu again as the interim world champion. That was Phillips. And we'll bring up Cecilia.
Thank you.
Great job, Lulu!
I think Cecilia's behind the curtain somewhere.
Hey!
Door number 3. Where's Jonathan? Why don't you come up? It was overall fantastic night for boxing, especially for women's boxing. Having Cecilia headline HBO on their last broadcast was just a tremendous statement for the sport of women's boxing, recognizing that she's not only the best pound-for-pound boxer, Ring Magazine champion, undisputed champion, undefeated champion, but also outside the ring, one of the most marketable athletes that I've ever met. So why don't we introduce and give one more big hand for Cecilia Braekhus. She made history on Cinco de Mayo on the Triple G show with an extremely high rating, and now headlining HBO. This was her 24th title defense. If she makes one more title defense, she'll tie the record of Joe Louis of the most title defenses in one division. So that's a historic achievement. And Cecilia, why don't you say a few words about fighting on HBO here at Starbucks Center, your 2nd fight here in Los Angeles.
Yes, thank you to everybody who was for coming, for supporting me, for supporting my career. It's been such an amazing honor, and 2 fights on HBO, just like this, bam bam, after one. It's overwhelming, and what I have been a part of today, I don't think it's possible for me to understand this right now. It has to give some time to really sink in. What I do know is that this is not only big for me, this will be a big deal for young girls. The next generations will look at this night and say, you know what, there was a woman, there was a girl headlining the last HBO show. Can you imagine that? I am so proud and so grateful for HBO to take this chance, and for Tom and 360 Promotion to finally, you know, just have the balls and back up the woman, and just, you know, just giving the promotion, just the support, and I hope more. I hope this will continue, and we will see women boxing grow in the future. And all in all, it was a great night and amazing fights. I was very emotional in my fight, of course, because I really want to make a worthy ending for this historical run from HBO's boxing. But so I was chasing that knockout, and you know, when you're chasing the knockout, that's when it's harder to get the results you want. But I just hope that everybody here at the StubHub Center and everybody home was entertained, and looking forward to be back again.
And also Jonathan Banks is up here, her chief second, her trainer. Jonathan took over the training duties of Vladimir Klitschko, who was the best heavyweight champion, one of the longest reigns in heavyweight championship history. Now he's working with the best pound-for-pound female champion. Jonathan, why don't you say a few words on how significant this fight was for Cecilia's career?
I think every fight at this point for Cecilia is a significant fight, because she's walking on the path of what you can call, if you could say, greatness, because she's doing something for the first time. And anytime you're the first to do something, that's pretty much the hardest walk you'll see. Everybody else can eat off the plates that basically she's making, because she's the first to do it. So,
is that why they call her the first lady?
right. That's why that's why she's the first lady. You know, she's the first lady to be undisputed, first lady to be featured on HBO, first lady to be main event on HBO. So everybody that shoot for being undisputed after this, it's just being. She's the first to do it. So for their jobs and their marketing ability will be a little bit easier. And I honestly believe the way she acts, her lifestyle, what people see, is the blueprint on a well-marketed person. And I think that is key also in women boxing. And it's kind of a bittersweet night because it's HBO's last show. They're about to get out of the boxing business. And thankful to the late Grady Manuel Stewart, I was able to be around Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley for many, many years even before I turned pro myself, because of Emmanuel was always commentating. He was always, everybody knew once he said HBO's calling, he about to head straight to the airport because he got to go do a broadcast. So it's a bittersweet night, and it's a big celebration because HBO has played such a major part in the lives of so many legendary fighters. I think that's Kevin Kelly back there, which is another fighter that followed HBO. And HBO has broke out plenty of stars in their long run at the top of the boxing game, and it's been a great pleasure to be a part of it.
Just want to know that JB has acknowledged Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly was my first fight on HBO when he won WBC featherweight championship against Goya Vargas in Reno, Nevada. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 25 years, 4 days ago, December 1st, 1993. Kevin Kelly was undefeated, Goya Vargas undefeated. Went on to win the championship, defend it many times, had the historic fight against Nassim Hamed in Madison Square Garden, one of the most exciting fights you'll ever see in boxing. And we were proud to have Kevin here commentating the stream internationally, and so appreciate that. Why don't you give Kevin Kelly a hand? With that, we can, now that Mike brought out all the hardware here, those are all hard-earned titles. We can open it up for questions for Cecilia or Jonathan.
us. That's a very impressive war chest over there. Where do you plan to go from here?
Well, how can you top this? How can you do that? I don't know right now. We have to, this hasn't even sunk in, really, what this night is mean for us, mean for HBO, and means for all the fighters at the show, but also for the next generation of young girls. It's so many levels. I really need some time to really get to understand what I have been part of. So when we have done that, we will, together with Tom, figure out the next steps. I saw Cyborg was in a ring, so maybe that would be one way to go. That is something I haven't done before. So, but right now I don't think we don't have any plan. But HBO's last farewell, one door closed and another door open. So I'm excited to see what's happening next year.
How would you grade yourself in this fight?
Well, I got a little bit emotional because, this is a big deal. I'm a girl from Norway, from a country where professional boxing was banned since 1981 and just opened up for professional boxing. And suddenly, we are like 5-6 million people in the whole of Norway, and suddenly I'm in LA, and the first women on an HBO headlining, and I don't know how many people are in LA, it's probably as many as in where I'm coming from. So this is a big deal for a girl. And what was your question again?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your...
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm happy about the fight, but it was a little bit too emotional because I wanted to close off the fight with a knockout, for the whole HBO family. So I couldn't get that, but I hope I delivered an entertaining fight. It's pretty brutal to be a girl because one fight that maybe not, if that fight wouldn't have been good, you represent every girl, and it's pretty, it can be tough, because that you have to deliver it, if you don't deliver in a fight, it's suddenly for all the women, it's pretty tough. But I think I did good tonight. I think I delivered, and I had fun, and I just hope it was an entertaining fight. And yeah.
Cyborg was in the ring tonight. She was in attendance. She's fighting in Las Vegas the end of this year. If that's a fight that can be made next year, that would be a huge statement for women's combat sports. I won't even say women's boxing, women's combat sports. Having one of the most popular UFC fighters fighting the undisputed pound-for-pound boxing champion. That's in the prime of their careers. That's a huge statement. So that would be something, if it's possible, we'd certainly like to explore it. There's other champions out there, higher divisions, lower divisions that we can look to see. Right now, Cecilia would take some time off over the holidays, go back to Norway, and we'll kind of regroup and see what's in store for next year. Great thing about women's boxing is you see with the television exposure, it's definitely, you can feel, with Katie Taylor out there and the Serrano sisters and Claressa Shields, what she did today, opening up the telecast. Christina Hammer was there in the audience. There's really a lot of outstanding female boxers. Maricela Corneo was here with us in the audience, and just when the opportunities, like what Cecilia has done, when the opportunities present themselves, she'll inspire the next generation of girls to say, maybe that is something I can do in the ring. Like she said, professional boxing was banned in Norway for 35 years, and she single-handedly was the one to get that reinstated, because a world champion should be allowed to fight in their own home country. And that's, she was the one why they changed the law, and now she's over here in the United States, her second fight, headlining HBO. It's a huge statement, so.
Just a quick question. You mentioned Chris Cyborg and her potentially next. Are you referring to a boxing bout or a mixed martial arts bout?
That would be a boxing match, yeah.
Right.
You know, it would be like a female version of Mayweather and McGregor. That is something that kind of tickles me a little bit. That's never been done. I like stuff that hasn't been done before.
And Cyborg has a tremendous stand-up game in UFC. So we'll all be watching her fight. Cecilia, because Cyborg came over here to support her or to watch her fight. Cecilia's thinking about going to Vegas to watch the Cyborg fight. And that fight's building a lot of momentum. Cyborg is one of the best stand-up fighters in the UFC. And you see how physically strong she is. And I think that could be a very interesting match. Coach Dave, do you have a question for the best female pound-for-pound fighter in the sport?
It's not even close, but the Cyborg fight would be fantastic. It would all make a lot of money.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, then we'll wrap up. Just want to acknowledge Cecilia, JB. Want to thank all of you for coming out, supporting the show. Really appreciate it.
Please give a round of applause to Tom Lawson for putting all this together.